Okay, greetings, YouTube. Tonight we're going to milk that algorithm because looking at my analytics, this is still a popular subject and it's one of my favorite ones. It's on the Tokarev, what is this thing? TB12. No, TBP-12, sorry. I love this shotgun. A lot of people love them and a lot of people hate them. But I do enjoy the bullpups. It's not that heavy. It's still a full size shotgun with a full length barrel. But as you know, when you're dealing with the Turkish shotguns, they all have issues. So you just have to, like I said, see which one fits you, whether or not you don't like the bullpup styles. And I would say get a Benellium 4. If you don't want to spend the money for the Benellium 4, then get one of the clones. But then when you have one of the clones, you got some of the same issues that plague this shotgun. Now, my shotgun doesn't have the reliability issues that a lot of people have. It doesn't jam on me. It can fire the different types of ammo without any issues. Fires buckshot, birdshot, slugs. So I don't have those issues. However, I did work on the gun and did some gunsmithing on it. And that's the main issue with this particular gun. This gun here, you're gonna take some time and effort to set it up. It's like anything else to make it reliable and work. Most people that have these guns, they do work on them anyway. I don't know where the whole plug and play idea came from, but most times, whenever you have any type of weapon that you have for yourself, you are going to have to tweak it, dial it in, set it up for your liking. It's a lot of things you can do to this particular shotgun to make it more reliable so it fires and don't jam as much. It is issues on it too that I wish they would change, but they didn't. This is essentially the same shotgun that the Turks made, but I do wish the charging handle was on the bolt itself, not forward. I wish it had an expeditious mag release on both sides and the bolt release. I do wish that that was different. In my opinion, it does need to have some things changed on it. I don't know if Tokarev USA will do those modifications on it. I doubt it. But those are the modifications I would do. Another thing, it has too much finish on it. A lot of times that's the reason why it jams. The castings aren't smooth. So what you're going to have to do is, if you're having issues with it being really reliable, you need to go through it and probably polish those parts with fine sandpaper, something like a 2400 grit sandpaper. And I would wet sand it, not with water, of course. I would use something like mineral oil. So things on this, when you're wet sanding it, I use like a oil. You could use gun oil, which works as fine, obviously, because it's gun oil. You could use 3-in-1 machine oil, or you could use mineral oil or baby oil. Just whatever oil that you like. And I know some people don't like them. They think they're goofy, but I do like it. I've had good success with it. But you just have to dial it in and do some work on it. Because like this is what mine looks like and I like it. It serves the purpose. And of course, I like the AR too, but the issue with long shotguns is that when you're going around the corner like at night or something, you worry about people grabbing them. That's what I really like the bullpup because I'm not as much worried about with the bullpup. I'm not worried as much about somebody grabbing it. I can keep it real tight to my body when I'm moving around corners and stuff at night. I like that it's compact. It is a little bulky, but I do like that. The fact that it's a shotgun, it kind of mitigates a lot of the issues you would have with a long gun because you do have the fact if you use a buckshot, it spreads, which is what you really want. Another thing I have is like since I have the this sure shot light on here, it has a strobe function on it, and that's a good thing to use tactically because if you have to use it, you may not even have to fire it. Just the fact that you have a bright light, sometimes that can be a deterrent. And of course, a bright light with a with a laser, that's also a deterrent. Because you can get by without firing it at somebody, then in self-defense, that's even better. If if you want to save your life, a life or death situation, it's better if you don't it's better if you don't have to. If you can get by with just like, hey, with a bright strobe light function, and a person says, well, you know what, maybe I need to do something else. That's a lot better. But at least you can protect yourself. So I don't know, man. With the way this world's going, you better get yours now while you can. And here's the thing, right? People ridicule a lot. I know about the cheap Chinese stuff, but you never know. Depending on whoever's in office or whatever, you may have your access to certain weapons or certain accessories cut off. Because here's what you got to understand. I know a lot of people they don't want airsoft stuff, but I remember when they had the bans of the '90s. Almost all of these accessories that people commonly use, they were banned. So what are you going to do? If it's technically airsoft and something you kind of tweaked it to perform, to function and perform the way you want it, then nobody cares about that. So I mean, what are you going to do if you spend all of this money building up your system and spending all these thousands of dollars, and then somebody swoops in and take your stuff? My question is, what are you going to do? It's nothing you can do then. Which is the reason why I always say you need to have a backup plan and don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you have an EOTech scope and then, they say, well, this scope is really should only be for military and law enforcement, so you shouldn't have it. Well, if that becomes the law, then, at least you got the holy warrior. And then if they say, well, you know what, you can't have the PEC 15, then you got SOMO gear. that's usually what I try to, that's my point I try to tell people. You want things that will fly under the radar. Now, the Benelli M4, they're probably going to be safe for the simple fact they depend on which one you have. They don't look real scary. Don't doesn't look like an AR or anything. So they probably don't care about those. So I would pick up whatever you can while you can. I'm not gonna shame people for not having the money and buying whatever you can afford. That's what you should always do. Something is better than nothing, and but this particular shotgun, I think it functions reasonably well as long as you do the work. You look at the comments on my video, some people love them, some people hate them. It's, it's all over the place. But I think if you kind of break it in or if you disassemble it, see the issue is it has too much finish and stuff. Everything on it has all that percolizing on it. And that stuff inside of it snags when it's operating, right? You want to get rid of all that stuff. You want to make it smooth as possible inside. So what's better for you? Is it a shotgun that's a bullpup, a shotgun that is a pump, or a shotgun that's automatic? Well, I don't think nobody really makes any more bullpup pump shotguns anymore. I hadn't seen one of those in years. I think Maverick made one back in the day, and it was a company that made a bullpup kit for one. For what was, I believe, Mossberg, but that company got sued, so they took that particular kit off the market. But it was a nice looking kit. It was a pretty cool one. I think what happened was at first it was made for the Mossberg, and then Maverick used to make a shotgun that was similar to it. It almost looked identical. I forgot about the Kill Tech because I believe the Kill Tech is a pump. I don't think that's full of, I mean, not full, I don't think that's a semi automatic. But I'm never really big on loading tubes and all that. I like magazine fed shotguns. So that's what really gravitated me toward this one. I don't like all that tube fed. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my cup of tea. That is why I like this one, having the ability to have different magazines. And I like being able to load it for different types of conditions depending on what I want. If I wanted, say for instance, self-defense ammo, I can use self-defense ammo. If I want to use like hunting ammo for small game, I could use that. But birdshot doesn't have any what's the word I want to say? It doesn't really have that much self-defense purpose, I don't think. Except for when that one Matt Damon movie, I think that was Matt Damon that shot that guy with the bird shot and that over and under shotgun. I can't remember what that movie was. But yeah, bird shot doesn't have that much, I don't think it has that much self-defense purpose. But the cool thing about shotguns is that you can also get the anti I think it's not an anti-personnel. What is it called? I'm trying to remember exactly what it's called, but it's non-lethal. It's the rubber buckshot. And I know they hurt, but they're not going to kill you unless you're really close. I mean, all bets are off if you're too close and getting hit with buckshot. I wouldn't want to get hit by rubber buckshots, but and I think a company makes pepper ball that goes into the shotgun. But my fear of all that stuff is that I don't know what it'll function like in a automatic shotgun. That's more so, I guess, with a pump. I'm worried about reliability. Will it cycle? Maybe if you put like one of those last shells or whatever, I forgot what they're called, but like once you have fired all your shells and then on the outside you have that last shell, you can pull that off and then put in and then rack it. That's probably where I would see something like that more useful on a semi-automatic shotgun. Maybe that last round that you can use is non-lethal, but they do have some pretty good. But see, that's the other thing. A lot of the places, the other shotgun rounds, you can't. Well, it's not that you can't, but I don't know the legality of them if you use them for self-defense because technically some places they don't want you to use the flechettes, but flechettes are perfect because they are really effective because obviously they're like little darts that come out. So, and then it was the other round. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it's bolo. It's like a ball. It's two balls and a like a wire coming out. So when it fires, you would see some of those old movies where like the police use them in the prisons, and like if a prisoner's escaping, they fire it, and it wraps around their legs and it stops them from running. But it's a non-lethal load, but it's just designed to immobilize you, but not like hurt you in any way. But I don't know the legality of that. I'm not a lawyer, so we all know our favors: exploding slugs, which are always good, and then we all know about the dragon's breath. So it just depends on, I guess, whatever people like. But I've had good success with this. Once I'm sorry, people. I'm going to have to hold on. Wait, is it?